Hey, what's up guys? I'm Pokerface Ash. Today, I am at Texas Card House, Dallas to play on the Ladies Livestream. It starts at 6 p.m. It's gonna go for about 4 hours and we are playing a round of each. So, no limit, PLO, and Big O. Do I play Big O or PLO? Well, it wasn't until recently I started studying a little bit on omahapokertraining.com by Advanced Poker Training, so thanks to Steve Blay and his crew, I've been able to learn a little bit, play some PLO hands, so I'm gonna try and not make some big mistakes today, but overall I think I'm getting the general idea of how to play, and I hope I just can hit some hands. So, alright, I'm really excited to get in there and play this ladies live stream at Texas Card House, Dallas. See you guys in there. It is time for me to play in my first ever mixed game. I've played a little bit of PLO, but this is my first time ever playing Big O live in a real cash game. The only other time I've played is practicing on omahapokertraining.com from Advanced Poker Training. If you guys are looking to get better and improve your PLO game, make sure you guys check it out. Steve Blay does an amazing job breaking it down. And if you sign up for a free account, immediately they will send you 3 free videos of tips and tricks and a beginner's tutorial on how to get started and learn these games. So make sure you guys go sign up and check it out. Alright, so we played some No Limit, ELO, and Big O, and now we're back around to No Limit Hold'em. And one of the very first hands I get involved with, there's a limp under the gun from Carrie, and it folds around to the small blind. She completes with King 3 off, and I'm in the big blind, and I'm gonna check my option with these Nat King cards. So we head 3 ways to a flop of 9, 3, deuce, rainbow, so we flop top 2 pair. Myra flops middle pair and leads for $15. I'm gonna raise here as I can get called by pretty much any 9, any straight draw like 5-4, and this is one of my first hands I've played on the stream, so I want to come out with an aggressive image, and I raise to $45. And then the small blind decides to peel with her middle pair, so we head to a turn card. I hope this turn card isn't foreshadowing of a bad session because we just get outturned as she turns a better 2 pair. She now decides to lead into me for $85. I'm not buying it just yet. I'm not sure what's beating me at this point. I block a set of 3s. Pocket 9s would have raised pre-flop. If she has pocket deuces, good for her. King 9 does make some sense here. But either way, we're not convinced just yet, and I put in the call of $85, so we head to a river card. The river is the 8 of diamonds, and she bets $100. I'm very curious at this point. I feel like being a little bit sticky here. I just am very confused at what beats me. Yes, diamonds come in. I doubt she would have called my raise on the flop unless she had exact ace 3 of diamonds, ace deuce of diamonds, something like that. So getting over 4-1 here, I think I'm gonna pay her off and see what she has. And sure enough, she did outturn me there. So we lose the first hand of the night, but I'm still optimistic. In this hand, there's a bunch of limps ahead of me, and I'm gonna cut off with 5 deuce suited. I'm playing on a live stream, let's get in the mix. I make the call. Carrie then raises the button with ace 8 offsuit to $20. Dusty calls in the big blind, Dory, action Ashley, and I decide to peel here, so we're gonna go 5 ways to a flop. The flop is King 3, 4 with 1 diamond. Probably just about as good of a board I could hope for with my exact hand without flopping the nuts, of course. We all check it over to the pre-flop raiser, which was Carrie on the button, and she decides to check, so we're heading to a turn card. The turn is the 9 of hearts. Dusty decides to bet $65. Everyone else folds, and now it's on me. It's very hard for Dusty to have a nutted hand here unless she has exactly a set of 3s or 4s. Kings would have raised pre-flop. She could have a hand like King Queen or a hand like Ace 9, something like that she wants to start denying equity with. I have 5 high, so I'm gonna put in the raise.
She's gonna make the raise here. Now she's got fold equity along with her real equity, so I like this play a lot from Pokerface Ash. Especially against a hand like Dusty has. It's going to be hard for Dusty to continue here.
Dusty thinks for a while she does not want to let her hand go, but shout out to Dusty. We battled a lot this summer at the WSOP and a lot of ladies events this summer. She's a very good and sticky player, but luckily I was able to get this one through on her and finally pick up a nice pot on this live stream.
Nice job, Pokerface Ash.
Yeah, takes out a nice spot there with a 5 high.
Making a great decision there with her deuce 5 by making the raise.
We're back to PLO, and there's a couple limps ahead of me, and I'm in the small blind and look down at ace, king, queen, 9, double suited. Pretty decent hand in PLO, so I'm gonna pot it and raise to $55. I pick up 2 callers in Carrie and Kim, so we're going 3 ways to a flop of ace, 8, 3 with 2 diamonds. So we flop top pair, top kicker, and we have the second nut flush draw. I'm out of position. I'm not sure if I want the pot to be too inflated. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be betting this flop. Maybe I am, but I did decide to check and see what my opponents did, and it did check check around. The turn is the 6 of hearts, and now I check yet again. Carrie picks up the nut flush draw with her hearts on the turn, and she bets 125. Kim makes the fold, and I'm not going anywhere, so I make the call and we head to a river card, which is another heart. I check, and she bets about $300 and something, and now I can get away unscathed. In this hand, the graphics were slightly off at the beginning. It wasn't a raise to 100, we actually all limped for $10, and I got to see a flop with my double suited King 887. And I flop the absolute nuts with the straight flush redraw. I still have to worry about other spade draws and obviously the board pairing, but in the meantime, I have the nuts and I want to charge all worse hands. Becca leads out for $50 with her straight draw and her nut flush draw. As you can see, Becca actually has more equity in this hand with her draw and her nut flush draw, but I don't know this and I'm not very familiar on how to play spots like these, but at the time I thought I should raise, so I make it $220. Dusty cold calls my raise and Becca also calls, so now we're headed to a turn card 3 ways, which is the 10 of diamonds, which is a great card in the sense that it's a total brick and I still hold the nuts. Dusty checks, Becca checks, and now I'm gonna pot it and hope to get called by worse, and also hope to hold if I do get called heading to a river card. So I pot for $735. The graphics are slightly wrong as Dusty folds and then Becca is thinking about it. She does have a little bit more than what it says on the screen. She has about 800 to 900 behind. She thinks and thinks for a while, and as you can see, she has about 25% equity in this spot, and I'm a 75% favorite to win the hand. She finally decides to just shove all in, and of course I snap call with the nuts and let's hold, and here's what happened.
That's an insta call.
The beginning of our
6 here on the turn.
Wow, does pair the board, but
She has chips, but she doesn't have a boat, so it's going to be poker face Ash with the check mark.
wow.
Gonna
And
win with the straight.
Ashley gonna scoop a big pot here, $2,800 pot.
When the board paired, my heart sank as I thought I lost to what was most likely a set that turned into a full house. But she said, if you have a straight, you're good, and my oh my was that amazing words to hear. So she ended up having trips on the river, but it's no good against my straight, and we scoop almost a $2,000 pot here and was one of the biggest pots I won for the night. In this hand, there's a couple limps, and Kim raises it up from the button with a suited ace. I make the call with my double suited connectors and my pocket nines, so we head to a flop 3 ways of ace 9 6. So we flop middle set on this rainbow board. Again, I'm not sure how to play spots like these, but we check it over to Kim and she bets 125. Dusty makes the call and I make the call as well. I don't necessarily want to pot it here as there's so many terrible turn cards, so we head 3 ways to a turn, which is a 7, so now 10-8 makes the nut straight. I hate to see this bet by Kim, she makes it $200. Dusty then pretty much pots it, or almost pots it, to $775. It's very clear to me that I don't have the best hand at this point, and it's possible my middle set isn't even good at this point, as someone could have pocket aces. I have to hope the board pairs, and in this spot, I'm just gonna fold and live to see another day. In this hand, there's a couple limps pre-flop, and I look down at ace ace king 10 3 double suited on the button, and I decide to pot it to $70. Only Dusty comes along with her queen queen 4 deuce deuce, so we're going heads up to a flop. The flop is queen 8 deuce rainbow, so Dusty flops 2 sets, queens and deuces. I have backdoor hearts, the draw to the nut low, seeing that the deuce is out there, so my hand is pretty good still. I do have position and I'm not going anywhere, so I decided to bet and I made it $100. Dusty then check raises to $400. I make the call pretty quickly because there's a lot of good turn cards for me, and again I am drawing to the nut low, so we head to a turn card. The turn is the 7 of hearts, which is a really great card for me because now I'm drawing to the nuts with the high, and now I have the nut low locked up. Dusty pots it into me for $970. I think about my options, see how much Dusty has behind, and I'm not going anywhere, I'm never folding, and I am drawing to scoop this pot, so I go all in and Dusty snap calls, and we head to see a river card in this $5,000 pot. Here's what happened.
What will this river card bring here?
You know, you're
3. So there it is, the chop.
So thankfully I had 2 aces in my hand, so even though the 3 came on the river, I still had a natural low, and we are gonna chop this one up. Finally, I can breathe a sigh of relief because we are finally back to the 2-card game. In this hand, Action Ashley raises an early position and we get a bunch of callers, and I come along with my Jack 10 offsuit, so we're headed multi-way to see a flop. The flop is 10-4-4 with 2 clubs. Dory leads out for $60. I make the call with my top pair, although I'm not loving it, and Kim comes along as well with her middle pair of pocket nines. The turn is a super sick card. It's a 9, giving Dory top 2 pair and Kim a full house. When Dory bets into 2 people yet again out of position, it should be very, very strong. She pretty much shouldn't have anything worse than ace 10 in this spot, so obviously I don't know that she has 10-9 offsuit, but I do know that her betting again means she's pretty strong. Although I don't know how she plays, it seems like she wouldn't just lead into 2 opponents with nothing, so I think at this point I need to let my hand go, especially because I have Kim to worry about behind me. So I make the fold, Kim raises, Dory calls, Kim leads the river, which is a 7, and then Dory finds the hero call and sees the bad news, but what a sick hand, and I'm just glad I got out of there unscathed. In this hand, Action Ashley raises under the gun 1 with 9-8 of diamonds. I'm in the hijack and look down at Queen 9 of spades, and I decide to 3-bet. And instead of me explaining why I 3-bet this hand, I'm gonna let Poker Mama do it because she did an incredible job commentating on this TCH live stream, and she pretty much said exactly what I was thinking during the hand.
Ashley call.
I actually really like this 3-bet with the Queen 9 suited here. It's one of those hands you don't mind 3-bet folding, but you don't really love to
Play multi-way.
Yeah, exactly. And just by 3-betting it here, it gives you a lot more options.
So like she said, Queen 9 suited is a good hand that plays well post-flop, but it's not a hand we want to take multi-way, and we can also potentially get Ashley to fold some hands pre-flop, but if we don't, we can play this pot in position. And if Ashley somehow does wake up with a hand or decides to 4-bet us, we can just fold and let this type of hand go. So Ashley does indeed make the call, so now there's $190 going to the flop, and the flop is Queen 7-9 with 2 hearts. So we flop top 2 pair, but this board is very dynamic. Ashley checks it over to me, and this is not a board I'm going to down bet. This is a board that connects a lot with a flatter's range, and also there is flush draws and straight draws available, so I'm going to bet $125. Action Ashley makes the call pretty quickly. The turn is the 6 of hearts, so it does complete one of the flush draws. Ashley checks it over to me, and now I have to decide how far up in my range I am. While I can certainly have nut flushes, some straights, and sets on this board, having top 2 pair with the flush draw coming in, I'm happy to check this one back and evaluate the river, so that's what I do. So we head to a river card. The river is an offsuit jack. It's actually not the greatest card in the world, but it is going to pair some of her hands, like ace jack offsuit with the ace of hearts type of hand. Possibly we can get called by king jack, king queen, queen 10 suited, something like that. So when she checks it over to me a 3rd time, she can't have a very strong hand taking this line, so I want to go for a small value bet here and try to get called by something. I bet $150. She pretty much snap calls with her pair of 9s, and we take down a very nice pot, 3-betting the Queen 9 suited. So after that hand, I didn't really get involved in any other significant hands throughout the rest of the live stream. I flopped a few sets and had to fold in PLO on very dynamic boards, but besides that, we had a pretty solid showing tonight. What a stream, that was interesting. I might have made a few, maybe a lot of mistakes in the PLO and Big O. I don't know, just super fun, and obviously just there to connect and get familiar with TCH and play on the live stream, so it was a blast. So I was in for 3,000, cashed out with 32.82 for a profit of $282. So not a bad stream, not a bad night, but it is time to head home and get some sleep. If you guys enjoyed the vlog, would you do me a huge favor and go all in and like, comment, and subscribe? It would mean the world to me. Just getting started, it's only up from here. I'll see you guys next time.